Do you love math?
Yeah, I love math, but I just hate showing work.
Well, you gotta show your work, or else Mr. Ang's gonna stay up all night
worrying and being concerned about you.
That's why we love math.
Hey, it's Mr. Ng. Let's go over the SBAC 11th grade math Kahoot practice we did the other day. And the first question tells us to multiply and then combine. So multiply here, you can use either the box method we did in class, or you can use something called FOIL. Now, I don't like FOIL because it only works with binomials. That's 2 terms times 2 terms. No, something like that. That just stands for the first outside, inside, and then last. And I like the box method because it provides some kind of structure for students. So let's draw a box. The reason why I'm drawing a box because there's only 2 terms. 2x minus 3, 5x plus 6. 2x times 5x gives us 10x squared. Remember, you're multiplying the same base, you add the exponents. I'm trying to use the same color coding as the I have above for FOIL. 2x times 6 will be 12x. Now we're going to go to the inside. Negative 3 times 5x is negative 15x. And then, that was supposed to be yellow. And then the last terms are negative 3 times 6 is negative 18. I'm going to go ahead and combine like terms. So these two, so 10x squared minus 3x minus 18. So you can currently see the answers on the far right. Question number 2. Question number 2. Psst, I'm recording. Question number 2, solve 18x squared minus 50 equals 0. You'll notice this is a quadratics. You can solve quadratics in a couple of ways. You can use a quadratic formula. It's long but always works. You could use factoring, the easiest but doesn't always work. You can use completing the square, kind of difficult to move into vertex form. You can do it by graphing, doesn't always work. And then you can always use, this one's called the square root method. And I'm actually going to show you guys the square root method. The square root method works when you only have the a and the c, but no b value, which we have right now. You'll notice the b value is actually a 0x or a placeholder, and we actually don't need that one. So basically we're going to move the c value over. And then I'm going to isolate x squared by dividing here. So I'm left with x squared equals, I'm going to break these into factors, 25 times 2 and 9 times 2. And the reason why I'm doing that is the 2's will cancel here. So I'm left with x squared equals 25 over 9. To remove the power of 2, I'm going to take the square root because the index there is a 2, so those will cancel. And so if you take the square root of one side, you have to take it of both sides. Then you're left with x squared equals, I'm putting this one in red because this is a common mistake. You actually have 2 solutions. We can take the square root of an equation, or both sides, you have to do it a plus or minus the square root of 25 over the square root of 9. Two identical numbers that multiply to be 25 are 5, and two identical numbers that multiply to be 9 are 3. So our answers are x equals positive 5 and x equals negative 5/3. And that would be the circle there, and you can see the green check mark. Question number 3. This was the most missed question on the Kahoot. What is the value of x such that 3 to the 4/3? I'm going to change this. You have a base of 4/3. Let's change the color of the exponent. I write the fractions vertically. Then I have 3 over x equals base 3 to the 7/5. Okay, because you have the same base, you add the exponents. Let's write that. Multiply same base. The base is the 3. Add exponents. The exponents is what color? The exponents are green. So all we have to do is add those. 4/3 plus 3 over x equals 7/5. Okay, for fractions, you want to have a common denominator. The easiest way is just to basically eliminate the fraction or the denominator. How would you do that? You take the greatest common factor here. The greatest common factor is 15x. I got 15x by just multiplying all those circled in blue. And you'll see what happens. 15x, you can distribute this, 15x, and you have 15x. You have 4/3, you have 3 over x, and you have 7/5. Okay, if you haven't learned cross-canceling, you can do that by just breaking them into factors. So 15x is 5 times 3 times x times 4. Again, 15x here is 5 times 3 times x times 3 over x. And 15x again is 5 times 3 times x. Let's go ahead and have a canceling party here. 3 divided by 3 is 1. X divided by x is 1. And 5 divided by 5 is also 1. You're going to be left with 20x. Right now, space, I'm just going to go up here. 20x, that's 5 times x times 4. And then you multiply all of these, and you're going to get 30. And then you're going to get 21x. And then all we have to do here is just solve, subtract 20x. And you will get 30 equals x. And that is our answer. Multiplied wrong down here. That should have been 45. Did you guys see that? So 45. And that's why the answer is this one. You can see it green checked on the far right. Question number 4 says select the expression that is equivalent to the equation in the image. The picture in the image I believe was this. Okay, so here we have a exponent and a radical sign. We have a rational expression. And the visible number here is a 2. And so if you make this, the 6 becomes the numerator, the index becomes the denominator. So another way of saying it is that this, the square root, is kind of like a 1/2. And that 2 goes in the denominator there. So all you have to do is just 6 divided by 2 is 3. You don't have to expand 7 to the thirds. You have an answer right here. Question number 5, which of the following are zeros? Remember, the word zeros is just where it crosses the x-axis. I have function notation here, and all I'm going to do is, this is quadratic, so everything's to the right side, so I'm just going to see if I can factor this using our Xbox method. This is your A, B, and C from standard form. A times C is -40. Your B value is -3. We need to list all the numbers out that multiply to be 40 but add to be 3. 40 and 1, 20 and 2, 10 and 4, 8 and 5. Did you notice I put all the larger numbers on the left side, smaller numbers on the right, so you can subtract them, and the only one that works is this one. Now we need to change the pluses and minuses. So -8 plus 5 gives me -3, and -8 times 5 gives me -40. Those there in red are basically splitting the middle term here. I'm going to put the A term here in the top left, and the -20 C value in the bottom right. And then all we have to do here is just factor. So my greatest common factor going in this direction is 2x. This direction is just x. This direction is -4. And this direction is a +5. You can multiply on the outside to get the numbers in the inside to double check your answer. And so now I have x -4, 2x plus 5. You're going to set each of those equal to 0. 0 product rule here. Basically, x-intercepts, something here. Well, the answer is going to be x equals 4, but the ordered pair there is 4, 0, so your x value is a number and your y value is 0. Subtract 5, divide by 2, and you have these as your two answers. So it says, which of the following? There's actually two. You could have chosen this one, or -5/2 this one. So the graph is going to look like this. A value is positive, so it's going to graph up. That's why there's 2 green check marks. You only had to check 1. Question number 6 is the same thing we did in the first problem there, and just multiply. 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 And the only thing you have to do is just combine like terms, so that would be -22x, which is this one. We have 5x squared, and then -15, so our answer is going to be the diamond blue one. Question number 7, choose the ordered pair that is a solution to the equation represented by the graph. So the graph had something that looked like this. See if I can move this. Guess I can move the pitch of it, huh? Alright, art lesson. Just make your dots really thick. Okay, a solution is anything that's true. Okay, so for example, 3 equals 3, that is true. That means it's solution. 4 equals 3 is not a solution. This is false. So the solutions are a visual representation of what's on the line. So just look at what's on the line. Okay, so let's draw a little bit more tick marks. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so this red one here, 4, 2, would be something like right here. Is that on the line? No. How about 0, 6? 0 down, -6, is that on the blue line? No. 3, 0 would be right here, so this would be a no. And then 2, 4, right 2, up 4. That's going to be in the line, so that's our answer. You could have also taken this and making a equation. You could have counted slope. It's one way of doing this. So my rise is 3. My run is 6. Rise over run, or my slope, is 3 over 6. So that means my slope is 1/2. Then I can use slope-intercept form. And my slope is 1/2. And my y-intercept is a +3, so there's my equation, and then you can just plug in each of the order pairs until you have a statement that is true. The other 3 will be false. And question number 8. How do the functions of f of x equals 500 to the 1.012 to the x power and g of x equals 500 to the 1.019 x compare? Okay, so let's just give you a quick visual representation of what these look like. They both have this one, and this is called the exponential form. It's exponential form because you have the variable to the exponent. So the a value is your starting point. It's kind of like your y-intercept. So they both start at 500. And you'll notice that the number there is greater than 1, so it is growth. Okay? Let's see if I can differentiate this now. Because it's growth, though, the question is, which one grows faster? Now, if I move this, 100% is equal to 1.00. So this has a growth rate of 1.2%. Pretty good. I'm trying to think about how to increase my money, right? And I would do that with a greater slope. Let's try blue. Like this blue? It's a nice blue. Okay, g of x here, same thing, has a 1.9%. So my money is going to go a lot faster at 1.9% versus 1.2%. So the blue one has a greater slope. G of x rises faster. G of x rises faster. So that's what I want. And they also have the same y-intercept. That's the 500. So your answer is the yellow one. Hopefully going over this Kahoot was helpful for you guys. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
1, 2, tap taps on your shoe. 1, 2, apples. When I'm counting with you, my